Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Rimuru's journey for his beloved, Arifureta, from commonplace to world's strongest, by Sakura Arashi. Chapter 19. Suspicious Person. Their views was filled with light coming from the magic circle as they get teleported to the surface. The air definitely felt different even though nothing could be seen. It's clearly different compared to the air from the depth of the hell. Hajime and Yu in particular, sensing the fresh air, caused their cheeks to loosen. After spending such a long time down there, we finally made it back to the surface? Hajime's thought. As the light slowly settled, all that came into view was a cave. Yu mutters. Say what? Without any further thought, Hajime, who believed that the other side of the magic circle was the surface, unintentionally inserted a tsukomi at the scene. Rimuru was just calm as he already knows why they're in a cave. Ha 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 ha. Calm down, Hajime. You know something, don't you? Hajime just answers. You know, I feel like you're getting stupider. Hajime, this is a secret passage, this is a rebel's base after all. Rimuru said, embarrassing Hajime for not easily figuring it out. To this, Hajime just reacted by shamefully scratching his head. The three of them then started advancing through the pitch-black cave. Well, not really, the three of them have night vision, so it wasn't a problem. On the way, though there were many doors with seals and traps, the Orcus ring would react, canceling the activation altogether. Realizing there's no danger, the three started losing interest. They kept advancing until they found light. Light that came from the surface, the light which Hajime for the past few months, and you for the past 300 years haven't seen. To be honest, Rimuru didn't feel anything that special about seeing the light again, but he didn't want to ruin the mood, so he just stayed silent while watching the two. Rimuru at this point started realizing just how hard it will be to control himself, as he envies the two. He envies how happy they are, how they get to be with each other, and last, how they managed to fulfill their goal of reaching the surface while he failed in his goal to save Shizu. But this just made it all the more important to find her. If he had just managed to save her, then none of this would have ever needed to happen, because his main goal is to find Shizu. He's always been lonely, as he knows it'll be pointless to make friends and all. That all changed in the recent reincarnations. Why? Well, that's a story for another time. I really envy them, but I am hoping not for long. Rimuru thought while watching the two looking at each other, exchanging glance and grinning. The three started to run towards the light, which was gradually getting bigger. They could feel and breathe the air from the surface. It was different from the stagnant air from hell. The air was cool and fresh. The three finally jumped into the light, and reached the long-awaited surface. For the people who lives above the surface, the place they're in right now would be considered hell. Magic could hardly be used. Even so, a lot of powerful and brutal monster live there. The three were currently outside of the cave at the bottom of the Raisin Grand Canyon. Although they were at the bottom of the earth, the sun from above poured down bright and warm light. The fragrance of the surface mixed with the wind were tickling their nose. We're finally back, aren't we? Hajime said. MNN, replied Yu. The two, finally hit by an overwhelming happy feeling of reality, looked away from the sun, glanced at each other, and with all their strength started hugging each other, while Rimuru stayed in the sidelines. While the two was having their moment, Rimuru was busy checking where they are and what their next plan should be. In truth, Rimuru wants to return to Shizuku, as he promised her he would return with Hajime. But Hajime's goal is to find a way off this world. Seal told Rimuru that they can continue with Hajime's plan, as they would inevitably meet up with their classmates. Close double angle bracket. Seal. Where are we, and what's our plan? Open double angle bracket master. We're currently located at the Raisin Grand Canyon. To what I can analyze, it would seem magic wouldn't activate here. Close double angle bracket. Close double angle bracket. Why's that? Seal. Open double angle bracket. It's because the magic power that are loaded into the magic that are invoked are disintegrating and dispersed, thus canceling the magic. But don't worry, master. We're immune to things like this thanks to me. Open double angle bracket. Close double angle bracket. Well, yeah, that's pretty obvious. If something like this could stop us, then Yuki and Velda would have won. Open double angle bracket. To this, Seal just made an annoyed sound for making her sound stupid. After Yu and Hajime finally settled down, they noticed something. They were completely surrounded by monsters. Come on, really? We literally just returned to the surface not a moment ago and we're already surrounded by monsters. Hajime with an annoyed tone said, "Want me to take care of em?" Rimuru asked. "Thanks, but I got this. Fine, I'll leave it to you then." Rimuru said. Hajime then turned his attentions to the monsters. The monsters was basically a red giant two-headed T-Rex. "Now, if I remember correctly, we can't use magic here, right?" "Hajime, let me help," Yu said. "This place isn't suitable for magic users, Yu." "I know, but I can still use sheer power." In other words, Yu is saying something like she should just annihilate them before the big power got dispersed. True, the gathered magic does get dispersed, but if you gathered tons of them, maybe you can shoot it before it fully dispersed. By sheer quantity, and how high will the efficiency be? Around 10%, she answers. Then no, just stay close to my brother. I'll deal with this. Magic users are extremely weakened here, well except for my brother it would seem. I can't deny that. After this little sidetrack, Hajime once more turned his attentions to the monsters who's eyeing them down. Now then, let's see who's stronger, the monsters from hell or from here. Hajime said as he points his gun towards the monsters. Hajime was realizing intense killing intent and Thid caused the monsters to instinctively take one step back. One monster which couldn't hold attention anymore let out a roar and jump out. Rahh! Bang! But, at the same time resounded a gunshot along with a straight flashline. Rather than evading somewhere, that monster weren't even give any time to respond and got blown off. The things that happened after couldn't even be called a fight, as they didn't stand a chance. In fact, it was a slaughter. Hajime then turned to his back to see both Yu and Rimuru disappointed. "Oi! What's with your looks?" "I am just disappointed at this place. The monsters at Raisin Grand Canyon are famous for their brutality," Yu said. "Well, it just means that the monsters in hell are unreasonably strong." "And what about you? Why do you look like that?" Hajime said, looking at Rimuru. It's nothing. I am just thinking how I might train you again." Rimuru replied with a scary look which made Hajime flinch and start sweating. When the three would train, Rimuru would punish the three for their mistakes, like terrible coordination and etc., etc., etc. Their punishment was basically things that were worse than torture. At least this way they learned, sort of. "Ahahaha. There's no need. Your training have already improved me very much, ahahaha," Hajime said while laughing nervously. Well, glad to hear it. Sigh, that was a close call, Hajime's thought. "Anyways, what to do now? For this cliff we should be able to climb it," Hajime said. Well, little did he know Rimuru could have just flew or teleported them to the top, Let's head to the Sea of Trees, Rimuru suggested. "Why the Sea of Trees?" Yu asked. "Well, after getting out of the canyon, you don't want to abruptly cross the desert, right? Plus, there's bound to be villages inside the Sea of Trees, and if I remember correctly, there's also a dungeon." "Well, my brother's right, so let's just do what he says." Raisin Grand Canyon was basically a cliff that extends straight from east to west. There was hardly any bypath, therefore just by advancing along the way would lead them to Sea of Trees without getting lost. Hajime then poured magic on his ring and took out a magic-powered two-wheeled motor vehicle from it, while Rimuru did the same thing. Different from using gasoline like on Earth, the vehicle used direct magic operation to directly move the parts that are connected to the wheel, so the engine was quiet like an electric automobile. By the way, the speed adjustment was dependent on the amount of the magic power poured in. Well, under normal circumstances, the magic power efficiency inside Raisin Grand Canyon was the worst, so it could not be used for a long time. A little while after driving the magic-powered two-wheeled vehicle, a monster roar could be heard not that far from where they were. It was considerably powerful. At least it was one level higher compared to the monsters they had encountered inside the cliff. Driving the magic-powered two-wheeled vehicle around the protruding rocks, a large monster appeared. It was a tyranno-like monster, though it had two heads. It's a double-headed Tyrannosaurus-like monster. But the one getting attention wasn't the double-headed tyrant, but the girl with rabbit ears jumping around repeatedly with half-crying face. Rimuru signaled Hajime to stop beside him and look at the suspicious-looking about-to-get-eaten rabbit-eared girl. Is that a person? Hajime said. I think. Is it me or does she have giant ears? You said. She seems to be a rabbit girl. Rimuru answered. Why is she even here? Are rabbit tribes located here? Hajime said. Probably not. I mean, based on the strats of rabbit men, it's unthinkable for them to live here. Rimuru said. Then, isn't it that she was dropped here as a criminal? Isn't this place also used as execution place? Bad rabbit? You muttered. Well, whatever the case, I am curious, so I'll go and see, Rimuru said.